Man, I feel weird without my glasses. But I have to do without them. Anyway, what's going on, guys? This is your TCT. And today I want to do another blog. Now, I did say on my last blog talk, Why Women Reject Good Men, that I was going to be done with my vlogs. I just want to be more focused on my reviews and stuff. But that blog did pretty well, went viral. In fact, the biggest, it has more views than any other video that I posted on my channel. And people was asking me about more blogs. Since your video did great, are you gonna do more videos regarding to certain things, regards to that topic and stuff? And I was like, you know what? I think I should. So please, guys, please, women, pay attention because I have a lot of things to cover. I got a lot of examples to make. So I think you guys will be more entertained with this one. So this blog, as you guys read on the description, you know, why dating older people are better. Now, from my experience and from what I've heard, I've talked to both circular cases, men and women, of who they prefer better. Talk to people my age, talk to people that's a little younger and a little older, because I want to hear on both aspects. Now, from the older standpoint of men and women, from the men first, they said that, well, they like to date younger women because they have better physiques. They don't really ask too many questions. They like to go with the flow with men, which they like to hold men by the hand and just let the men do the whole thing. Now, from women's standpoint, it's a little bit the same. But for the women's standpoint, they want their men to be, the young guys, to just have a certain idea that the female is not playing any games, and for the female to take a little bit more control and just have the young guys just be like, yes, 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 yes. You know, excuse me, I'm sweating a little bit. Even I've been through that. I see, like, me personally, I steady fucking an older woman. I love older women. I steady watch. I watch, you know, lifetimes with them by the dozen. But I believe that those reasons are a little bit irrelevant. Those are just advantages of why you want to stay with a younger person. But I believe that in my cases, in why dating older people are better, especially when you reach a certain age, you get to a certain understanding of why dating older people is more of an adjutant understanding than being with a younger person. If you want to be with a younger person just to have sex with and just have a beneficial relationship, then that's fine. That's great. I mean, I've been with a few young people that I realized that the sex was great, the beneficial communication was good, but as I try to get things going and I try to have a futuristic standard of dating them, they never saw it my way, which was fine because I have like certain ideas of how things should work, and sometimes they'd be like no, sometimes they'd be like yes. Same thing with older women when I be with, and that's why I listen to them. But with the older women, they give me better ideas and better examples of what they want to do. But as for the younger ones, they just don't see it that way. And the reason is because, and I even been through this, the reason why dating older people are so much better is because, think about this. When a person reaches a certain age, after they graduate high school or after they get to a premature state of when they get out of college, they go through a lot of mixture emotions in their brain. They go through a lot of influences in their mind, as in, what should I do now? What's my future gonna hold? Should I do this? My career, especially if they have children, especially if a man or a female has kids at a certain young age, they go through way more stuff in their mental state to the point where they get too excited, they get too rational, they get too emotional, they go through deep depression at a certain age. That's why, and I talked to my father, and I talked to a few people that have children, and I asked them, I asked my father, how old was I when I had, like, me and him had our first big argument, like our first big fight? He said 22. I was 22 years old when I had my first big fight. And that's because that my standards was way too high. Like, I was going through so much stuff in my mind, and If y'all guys see my blog about me almost getting murdered by the age of 19, that was in my mind as well. I was taking therapy and stuff. So, and I was thinking about my career, me being an artist, me being a novelist and stuff. My mind was filled with so much stuff to the point where I felt like I was an adult. So when I had older people try to tell me certain things, I felt like they didn't know what they was talking about. So when my father tried to tell me certain things, I wouldn't listen to him. So I was going through an emotional stage. I was having mixed emotions, especially when it comes to relationships. I was, man, back then I was terrible with relationships. When it comes to me dating an older female back then, they just couldn't tell me anything. And they even told me, they said that I was way too young, way too immature to balance it, to kind of balance a relationship. And back then I was like, man, fuck you, bitch, all that stuff. And they wasn't even offended at the way, because they understood that I was going through an emotional phase. When you are a young person, and I'm sorry to say this, but when you are a young person, your best ideal is just to have sex and have a beneficial relationship, because you are still trying to learn. That's why I don't really get offended when a young man or a young woman at that age says that they just want they just want to have fun. I don't get mad at that. When I see women and men post stuff on Facebook saying that I don't really do Valentine's Day, I don't really do this, I don't really do that, or whatever, I just do my own thing. If a person comes in my life, that's fine, but I'm not trying to settle down. And people get mad about that, but I don't, because they understand too that they are young. You only live once. So by that time, they're just gonna do whatever they're not gonna dedicate their whole life on trying to reach high at such a young age, because they still trying to learn. But majority of young people, they don't feel that way. They feel like, you know what, I'm getting older, so I'm already grown, so I know every single freaking thing. They're going through an emotional stage, especially if they have children. I have been with a couple of girls that have children that have been through the exact same thing that I've experienced. And then their expectations be too high. I want this, I want that relationship, I want this to be right in a relationship. And then when I hear stuff like this, when I date them, I be like, I'm not that type of guy. But and then back then I used to try to make it work out for them, but all I'm doing is I'm just changing myself to make them happy. So when I got older, I was like, you know what, when I come across a female like that, I just have my right foot out the door and my left foot staying in, but at the center, just in case if things go bad. And that's how I am now when it comes to dating young women, or when I'm getting to know them, if they see me as a type of person that they want to be with, because they don't know me. And to be fair, if they don't want to be with me, that's fine, because I'm aware, I'm way too educated, I'm way too experienced. So I know a lot of young women don't want to be with a guy like me. Boy, I'm like sweating a storm. I know a lot of young women don't want to be with a guy like me because I know too much, and I give them certain predictions of certain things that they might do in the future, and they say they won't do it, but then they end up doing it. I know I keep using that phrase a lot, but it matches the mode. That's why older women is my forte, because even if I'm with an older person, they understand that these phases do exist. They understand that younger people have these type of modes where they can flip out at any moment. They can be overly emotional at any moment. They can be dramatic. They can just say certain things that they don't mean, but they say it anyway. That's why with a young guy, and a female is right about this, majority of young women don't like young men because young men are too immature. Young men are too childish in certain ways. Well, most aspects. They still want to be with their homeboys, still joke around, still do this, still spreading females' businesses out there and stuff. But a female wants a man that's more civil, wants a man that's more sophisticated with their own needs of how they want to please a female. Instead of just telling their homeboys, how this female has done this to them in bed, how they did this, how they experienced this, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because you know that there is bathroom talk and there's locker room talk, where guys talk about certain things with women. It's mostly with the young guys. Now you have older guys who do this, but it depends on how they were raised. If their parents ever raised them enough for them to be independent, then they're gonna be a child for the rest of their lives. I'm just being honest. So that's the reason why young women like older men, because they be on that petty stage. The young guys is what I'm essentially saying. And the reason why men like me like older women is because older women are way more sophisticated. Older women are more down to the point. See, more my opinion, I mean, in my taste, I like an older woman that I can learn from, that has like a bittersweet personality, but at the same time, if she's gonna be an asshole to me, she needs to know how to take my punches as well. You can snap on me, but if I snap on you, you bet not tear up. You know, out of all the older women I've been with, and I did my calculations, I dated like at least 15 older women. If my calculations, I know that's a lot. I'm trying to let that sink in, but my calculations is, out of all the older women I've been with, only 2 older women that I've been with fit that mode, where they snapped at me, they did certain things to me, and then when I snapped on them back and I told them that they did this, they was like, you're right, I did do that. See, they would admit this. But the reason why, especially with the last older female that I've been with, she was a cool chick, but at the same time, she was bitter. Not bitter, but she just had a hard time expressing certain things, and when she does it, she did it in a negative way. So when every time I gave her that type of nourishment and just kind of synced her in of what she needed to do right, then she would just snap, she would break up with me or whatever. And it's just like, come on, why would you... Look, I don't mind a breakup, but when you break up with a guy just because an argument, that just shows that you're living in a dream. You still believe in that relationships work whenever you work without arguments, without any complications. Don't you realize that with that? Come here for a second. There we go. Don't you realize that relationships work when you have these difficulties in your path? It helps you grow, it helps you nourish, it helps you learn what's to come in the future. When you keep thinking that this is going to be just a happy go-go world and you think that nothing is going to go wrong, then that just shows you that you're not prepared for what's to come when things hit your way in a negative manner. And that's what she was. She was telling me that things was going to be great. We even talked about marriage. She was showing me marriage movies and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like marriage movies. I like dramatic movies. But do not think that that's going to happen in our relationship. And that's what she thought. She thought that this was going to happen in a relationship. This is an older woman I'm talking about, not a younger one. Don't get it twisted. So when I realized how she was, that was when I was beginning to take notes of how deluded this female was. She was living in a dream. So when these things was beginning to happen, when we was having confrontations, and I was doing this deliberately because I was trying to study to see how this girl was going to be. If things get tough, will she stick around? And she didn't stick around at all. After that one little argument, and it was something stupid, after one little debate, then she just spread it all away. Just like that. And the reason why I say that, now look, I know I said that older women are better, but there's gonna be some older women that's just like this one that I mentioned, and it's because of how they're raised. If they're raised by a household of people that spoils them mentally and they make them think that they're always right, if they are in a certain way where they can't be told otherwise, you're gonna have a problem. And that's what I did. I had a problem with it. And that's why when I was trying to tell her that she was wrong on certain things, she took it the wrong way. And the problem with this is people like to compare this with like the experience that they've been through as a child, because she was telling me like the stuff that she'd been through with her past relationships and stuff. This man treat me this way, this man treat me that way. But what about the stuff that you've done? That's why I was thinking like, this is a girl that likes to play a victim. She doesn't, because when I tell people stories of what I've done, I mean, look at my blogs. I give examples of what I've done as well. I don't say that this person did this to me and I'm like this, oh my God. No, I have made examples of why I've done what I did and what happened in the after run of what happened, of what came of it. You know what I'm saying? But she was telling me how her ex did this to her, how her ex did that to her. And I was like, so what have you done? You're not a perfect person either. And then whenever we have our confrontations and our arguments, she didn't really talk to me about it. She would talk to her family about how to deal with the relationship or whatever. That don't make no sense. So you're gonna date hate me, but at the same time, when we go through our confrontations, you're not going to talk to me, your boyfriend, about the whole thing, and say you're going to tell your parents about our business? If you're going to do that, then maybe you're not ready to date. That's what I'm saying. It's all about how the person is raised when it comes to dating somebody. It doesn't no zodiac signs on this video. I don't go by zodiac signs. I don't go by this, that, or whatever because you was an Aquarius or a Pisces or whatever. I don't believe in that. I believe on how you were raised, how you were treated, and how you present yourself to be in this world. That's it. I notice people put their whole faith in dating somebody and just believing in zodiac signs and stuff like that, but that's mostly with the young age. With the young age, the young millennial age, they believe in what people say on TV, on social media, when it comes to actors, pop idols, and stars, whatever, saying that this person's a Pisces because they're acting this way, that way, whatever, and they just fall for it. In fact, there was this one idiot. Her name was like Jessica Winters or something like that. She was on, she's on social media or whatever. She's like on Facebook, whatever. One of the people that I used to follow on Facebook, and she ended up dating somebody, and they actually had an interview of how things was going and stuff. You know, like blind dating and everything. She does examples and stuff, and I like certain things that she said, except for one part when she was dating this guy on this interview that I just mentioned, and then when all of a sudden she left him, just like that. Things was going great, things was going good, the communication was linked in pretty well. I actually liked that. I actually liked the way how things was connecting, but I kind of felt like it was too good to be true. I thought that some of that stuff was staged, but she said, like, you know, I really felt for this guy. I really liked him a lot. So then the camera guy was like, why did you leave him? And she was like, because he's a Scorpio. I don't date Scorpios. And then I'm like, are you, you know, like I said, I like her, but sometimes when she says stuff like this, it just makes me cringe. It's just moments like this. I know God is like this, God does everything for a reason, but I don't understand why he gave her a fucking mouth. Sometimes she says some stupid shit. I just really wish you, if you watching this, I really wish you shut the fuck up, because that was a guy, that was a nice guy, and you left him just because he was a fucking Scorpio? Seriously? Now, and then the scary part about it is she has a big fan base. So of course everybody will like follow that whole thing. Everybody, you know what, I don't do that either, I'll do that either. Only people that will probably go against that is Scorpios themselves. Not people like me that is beyond the belief of zodiac signs and just date people of their character, of their personality, of how their attitudes is, not because they freaking zodiac signs. If this whole world resembles on zodiac signs, this would be a terrible place. People will act more racist, people will be more judgmental, people will be locked up because of their zodiac signs alone. But the reason why it's not like that, because this is all nonsense. We judge people because of their personality, how their character is, how they present themselves, how they were raised, and how they were treated. Not because of what their fucking birthday. Are you kidding? Trying to calm down. Now back to the topic. Now, young people have that bad. Young people have these beliefs bad. And I noticed that social media has these sort of things where they brainwash kids to make them believe that ignorance is okay. But like the circleization of people like me that's trying to educate them are not okay. That's why I get into it with a lot of young kids, a lot of young people, and a lot of Middle Eastern people. Now, like I said, I have my mistakes with older women also, but at the same time, at the end of the day, it comes to an understanding of people, of our differences in our beliefs and disbeliefs. Young people hold that against everybody throughout the rest of their freaking life. And one thing I noticed, that when young people go through these phases, when they go through these emotional states, they always bring up therapy. They always say therapy. Now, to be fair, I bring up therapy a lot, but I bring it up as an example. I bring it up as to let people know that therapy does work. Writing things down on daily works, because if you just live your life and just shake hands without writing things down of how you deal with these type of situations, you're going to be confused of how this world works. That's why I recommend therapy, and I recommend writing things down in your journal. But I notice when people, young people like say that they go through therapy, I notice it still doesn't work for them. I notice they still go through a stupid age of just their brains still don't function well. Because let me tell you how therapy works. Let me tell you exactly how therapy works. When people say that they go through therapy, people instantly think that they are in good hands. It's like going to the doctor, like going to a mechanic. When you say that you're taking your car to a shop where you're going to get yourself a treatment, 9 times out of 10 we think they're in good hands. But this is how they work. This is how therapy works. When you go to a therapist's office, when you schedule for an interview, they look at your character, especially if you're a young person. When a therapist sees you and they know that you're a young person, you are with that rational like if your brain's just full of that craziness, they're not going to give you the treatment that you are looking for mentally. They're just going to tell you things that you want to hear. They're not going to gut you like a fish like my old therapist, Jeannie, did. My therapist killed my soul. I haven't cried so hard. Only 2 times I cried hard was when I was in therapy and when my mom died. But I notice when young women tell me that they go through therapy, they still don't be in good shape because a therapist knows that people like them are beyond treatment. If their own parents can't tell them what they need to do, if they can't learn from themselves, then what good are they going to do? They know that if they try to tell them what they need to accomplish and what they need to change in their own mental and stuff, they're just going to walk out the door. So they lose money. So for them to keep money and get more money, they just tell them what they want to hear. Yeah, you're great. You're good. What you need to do is you need to just get away from all those people that's making you feel bad about yourself. Fuck all those people. You are doing great. You are doing fantastic. You are fabulous. You are so great. But you are crooked. You are crooked as a tail fin of a fish. And I'm not saying this to be funny, but I know a lot of women that say that they go through therapy, they go through these sessions, they do this, they do that or whatever, and they still be in bad shape. But that's because a therapist that they go to knows that they are beyond discipline. They just want to get a check. So when they see you, they be like, you know what? I'll just play along. I'll just freaking play along. And that's essentially what happens. And when I notice that women are the same way, that's when I test them to see, because I might be wrong. So what I do is I test them out myself, throw little nitpicks in there to test out their patience, test out their mental. But they don't last within a couple days. They stop talking to me. But that's to prove a point. Because if I was a therapist, they would have done the same thing. But if I stayed and just played along with their beliefs, then I've been a cool person. It's just weird how that works. You know what I'm saying? If I play along with them and if I be on their good side, and everything's okay. But for speaking the fucking truth, if I tell the truth, then they don't want to talk to me. I shouldn't feel bad of how much I've learned and how much I rendered and how much I've experienced and how much I want to progress through letting people know what to deal with and how to deal with it. So if I try to educate you to do the same thing, I'm a bad guy. That's how therapists looks at it. But the difference is they're getting paid to do this stuff. They're getting paid just so you can stay. If you're an older person, then they might break it to you. But they know that this is a young millennial stage where even jokes can shut them down. So that's why they have to come in a more cautious way to have you express yourself. It's sad, but at the same time, this world is freaking weak. This is a freaking weak society. And like I said before, that's the reason why I like older women. That's the reason why a lot of people like older people. Because majority of times they already at that stage. They're more realistic. You may have I've been with some older women that's a little bit emotional, but at the same time they come to a certain level of understanding because they're at that age where they know how this world is. They know how this world works. So no matter how many times we have these type of debates and stuff, they get it. They understand. But with a young person, they're still trying to learn. They're still trying to develop. That's why when I try to date a younger person, I be on a caution level. And when they leave, I just talk to somebody else. I don't even bat an eye. I don't anymore. In fact, there's this female I'm talking to right now, and I hope things go out well. If not, then that's fine too. that is fine too. I'm completely aware of that. Well, I think I already addressed my point already. I think I lost like 5 pounds doing this video. I'm sorry for being unprofessional, but I got so much technology in my room. Summer is one of the worst times of the year for me. But anyway, that's all I have for today. Please stay tuned for more of my videos and more of my reviews coming your way. This is your TCT here, and you guys have a great day.